Run into Old Navy. Today's the last day to get 50% off all Old Navy active. All your favorite active leggings, hoodies, mesh tees, and more are 50% off. Hurry, it ends tonight at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 2/23 to 2/24, excludes in-store clearance.
Blog Talk Radio.
Do you ever stop to wonder if people really knew the truth about what was going on in the world, if they would be any different? Because quite frankly, normal abandoned me a long time ago. My name is Dakota Frandsen. I am the specialist of the strange and fucked up. You'll never see the world the same way once you stick with me. Nothing is off limits. And you'll never know what world I'll be coming from for each episode. Listen in. And wait for your world to be changed forever. Hey, everybody! This is Dakota Frandsen. Welcome to Specialist of the Strange radio show. I am the one, the only. I can't say that. The other Dakota Fransens are women. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, can you believe it is already November? This year has gone by quick. It has been one of the most exciting years, at least for me. But it's been a good year. I gotta say, it's been a good year. Can't really complain too much. Had a few hiccups here and there, but that's life. So, I've already done 2 episodes this week dedicated to the origins of Halloween. So what the fuck am I bothering you guys about now? So I'll tell you what I'm bothering you about now. I thought that Trump's latest comment about the caravan of people coming up from Central America, putting the 15,000 troops at the Mexican border, I thought that might make for a good discussion. Because, personally, I believe that there is a lot more to this immigration issue that people aren't realizing. And yes, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there and hopefully make some of you idiots feel like fucktards and get you to shut the fuck up. Because quite frankly, I have seen a lot of comments on, they need to fucking learn English. They shouldn't be here. They're going to take over this country. They're ruining the economy. They're all these job losses, and they're letting the rapists and the burglars and shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. So, let's recap, shall we? Immigration has been a topic of concern for many, many years now, as it is for many places around the world. It seems like, since the Trump administration has started, that those comments went into hyperdrive ever since he mentioned building a fucking wall and tightening up border security and this and that and this and that, and my goodness. And now, being the annual caravan of people coming up from Central America to seek asylum in Mexico or the U.S. is dated to pop up at the border any day now, Trump has threatened to push up to 15,000 U.S. troops to the border to tighten the security so they can't get through. Let me explain why in the hell even putting the entire goddamn United States military at the border will not do jack. Even though they're talking about building a wall. Did you know drug cartels actually have tunnels going underneath the border. Yes. El Chapo was able to escape prison using said tunnel systems, and they are rather sophisticated. Many immigration officers down that way have actually come out and said, we don't know how many they got. We don't know. We don't really know. No. We don't know how many hoes that they fucking buried in the ground. We don't know how fucking much. We have a rough idea, but we don't really know just how much. I'm sorry, but that's a little bit more concerning than a bunch of families just trying to get away from a hostile environment. Oh, I said it. First off, to you ignorant piles of human excrement that might as well have been smeared upon the... I can't even think of a disgusting enough animal because that comparison would be an insult to the animal. A good majority of these people are just regular men, women, children, are just regular families just trying to survive. Just trying to get by. Just like you. Just like me. I highly doubt that a lot of you would actually take the time to sit down and hear their story. But you're going to say, but Dakota, immigration officers are brutal. What about the children in the internment camps? Wait. Part of the reason that I was able to do this show and be able to go up on topics like these, because it seems like all sides that try to debate over this on why it needs to be said or why it needs to be left alone, the quote-unquote discussions have the exact same mentality, the exact same level of ignorance, the exact same level of utter and complete stupidity that middle school and elementary school bullies may try to toss out. And why do I say this? Because at that age, chances are a child is not going to mention messed up, hateful comments like that unless they heard someone else say it. Someone they saw as a trusted figure that they can basically mold themselves into. Now, by high school, most of the time, I've noticed that these kids get it. They're not exactly sure how to process it all, but they're starting to catch on. That's something ain't right here. If you actually got into some of the stories behind why these people are coming here, they're afraid. They just want to go somewhere where they can feel safe. A lot of you don't realize this. And maybe some of you do. And are choosing to ignore it. But a lot don't realize that you probably do the exact same thing. Are you going to actually stand there? Maybe you can go ahead and grab a gun, try to stand your ground as much as you can. But are you seriously going to stand there, your arms crossed, like a teenage... I don't even want to say this, because this, what I want, the terms I want to use are comparable might just blanket over individuals I know for a fact who wouldn't act like this. But we've all been there. You all gonna seriously stand there, pouting your lips, arms fucking folded, like some teenage brat that's just not wanting to hear shit? You're going to stand there and tell me that they don't have a right to safety. They don't have a right to live. They don't have a right to be able to run away when violence gets to be too much. Hell, you wouldn't take the time to try to track down your loved ones and get them the hell out of there? Maybe you grab a gun to help defend yourself. All right, that's fine. That's okay. These are extreme circumstances, and you got to be prepared, right? Right? Well, I think we can all settle on that. Maybe you grab some sort of weapons to help defend yourself just in case something goes sideways or you run into something. I think even you gun control fanatics, and don't even get me started on that, can agree that in high-tense situations like that, you would want to get the hell out of Dodge, wouldn't you? That's all these people are doing. And some of you may try to look at me and say, oh, Dakota, but they're not fucking criminals. They're entering this country illegally. Not exactly. It is possible to get into many different countries, seek asylum, if there is a legitimate conflict or if there is a fear for safety. That's how they're getting in. That's how they're able to bypass some of the rules. But, oh, Dakota, they should learn English. Well, all right, I'm going to say this. Ideally, if you're going to go to another country and say you're from an English, let's say most of my audience here seems so far to be from the United States. Let's say you're from an English-speaking country, and you're going off somewhere that doesn't predominantly speak enough English. Now, say if you were going over from the United States to Ireland, you'll probably be okay. Some of the accents might be a little thick to understand, but in most cases, you'll be all right. Now, say if you go from United States to maybe Pakistan or Morocco or Uganda, chances are you're not going to run into a lot of people that speak English. So, as a sign of respect, you would want to learn at least a little bit of their language. If you're just vacationing there, you're not going to be sticking around. All right, yeah, you don't necessarily need to learn a lot. But it's a sign of respect to the locals. But these people are trying to run for their lives. They might pick up a few words here and there, but you're not going to have enough time to pick up a Spanish to English dictionary if you're running for your fucking life. No, at most, maybe you'll grab some food. Maybe you'll grab some toys for the kids. You'll grab supplies. You'll grab clothes. You'll grab pictures. See, that's the stuff that's important. There's the whole phrase. If you really want to see, there's that whole phrase. If you really want to see what a man loves, set his house on fire, and that's the first thing he's going to go running for. But some of you may even say, oh, Dakota, they're just coming here, and they're raping people, and they're just getting into domestic assaults. Yes, that happens. But it's not the majority. I made sure to try to do a little bit of research on immigration policies between a lot of countries. And yes, the United States actually has one of the most lenient policies out there. Basically, if you come here, learn a bit about our history, speak basic English, don't get involved in a criminal record, you can live in the area for a certain amount of time. Basically, if you come here, be a good person and try to learn a bit, maybe learn a bit of English, you'll be all right. But, and I should cover this while the subject is still fresh on my mind. There's a video going around of ICE agents using a crowbar to get into somebody's house to deport the parents. And it was stated in the official statements that the husband had been arrested for assaulting his wife. They believe they had enough evidence to prove that he had illegally entered the country at least 16 times. And although, no, he was kind of a gas type of dude. From the way they worded it, naturally, the wife disagreed. Then the wife is trying to say, oh, no, that's not it. Well, of course, you're going to think, oh, yeah, she's the wife. She's going to protect her husband, blah, 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 blah. She wants to keep her family together, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. A lot of this paperwork, and this actually happens a bit, because of the nature of it, it's easy for these names to get mixed up. It's not uncommon for someone, say a guy named Jose gets pulled over, he tells the cop his name is Hector, and Hector's actually his brother. It's not uncommon for that to happen. And because of that, a lot of the paperwork can easily get mixed up. And from what I've seen, ICE agents are trained to show extreme prejudice as a way of showing fear to people trying to get in this country in hopes that they won't think about trying to do it again. How easy for something like that to happen? I can recall a psychology experiment from my high school psychology class. So yes, Mr. P, if you're listening, I have been paying attention. I paid attention, all right? He brought this up as a point to show how easy it is for prejudiced views to form. I can't remember exactly where this was done, but it was at a university. They set up a fake prison. They had people that volunteered as prisoners, some that volunteered as the guards, and they would see what happened over the course of like a week or something. They had to shut down the experiment days early because those who volunteered as the guards started to get extremely violent against the quote-unquote prisoners. So it's not that uncommon. It unfortunately happens a lot. And there is not enough focus on mental health these days to really try to center in on what could cause these violent tendencies to erupt. There's just not enough there. And how could there be? Because the human mind has this ability, especially during childhood to teenage years, even in your up to your mid-20s, no matter what gender, race, or whatever you are, Your mind has the ability to completely rewire itself if certain areas become damaged. And quite frankly, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be stuck under an MRI or a CAT scan 24/7 to find out what's clicking inside my head. No, I got shit to do. I don't want to be observed like some lab rat. And quite frankly, the only way you can be able to completely understand every single thing that goes on inside the human body or the body of any living creature out there or anything is if you found a way to stick some sort of camera to it. I swear, some of these freaking medical advances, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Because that's all that can be done in order to get a good glimpse at what happened. Now, with this situation where the ICE agents were using a crowbar to enter someone's house, do I know the whole story? No. Will it be difficult to find it out? Yeah, probably. But there's a good chance that this whole mix of paperwork mishaps, the extreme prejudice that they've shown, this is becoming a whirlwind. And this also has to go out to the kids that are getting involved in this. It's not their fault their parents did what they did. It's not their fault. And oftentimes when the parents get deported, the kids are just left stranded. They don't do anything to make sure the kids are okay. Not even foster kids. They put them in those fucking cages. And what about the ones that make it to the border? Those tunnels, I said. Who's to say that some drug mule isn't going to say, hey, you need a job? Let me hook you up. What people just don't understand, and they will not understand unless they themselves were pushed into this enough situation, what someone will do to protect the ones they love. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has a breaking point. So you can sit there and say, oh, they're just another but a bunch of criminals. Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah. Every society has its trash. Some of it's mental illness. Some of it is messed up upbringings. There are so many fucking factors going here. And it does not isolate itself to one country. Several other countries see similar issues. This could happen to anywhere at any one. But, oh, Dakota, they're fucking not respecting our culture. Okay, yeah, there's quite a few that don't. I can sit here and tell you a story about where I used to live in a primarily Hispanic neighborhood. I used to grow up in a town that at the time was about half Hispanic / Latino and half white. There'll be times where I try to pick up bits and pieces of Spanish to try to understand what they said because, granted, we were kids at the time. They tried to talk shit about people, and it was obvious they were saying something they probably shouldn't be. Okay? And now that neighbor I mentioned, when me, the 6'7" giant, wasn't around, the next door neighbor tried to break in to rape my sister. That's true. True story. True story. So yes, the trash is out there. But as a whole, this entire situation, and I don't think even President Trump is considering everything. refugee programs, drug cartels, immigration, this old caravan of people. It's a whirlwind of chaos. I did a few classes at Leiden University in The Hague in the Netherlands. I took a security course, and they called these problems global. The problems that initially started out on a global scale that affected local areas. And I think that qualifies. Global conflicts lead to local overpopulations. And another thing, they say a lot of these programs are designed so that when people come here, because where a lot of universities will give free scholarships to foreign students, so on and so forth, these programs are designed for them to come here, learn about the subject they want, and take it back to their homeland. But a lot of things that they don't consider is that why would they go back to their homeland where things were crummy, it'd be hard to rebuild, this and that. Or they can just stay here and have a good life. That's another thing. There's people that come here that try to learn how to be doctors, lawyers, things like that. They end up sticking around. And the idea is that they will go back with what they've learned to try to help improve the systems over there. All I'm saying to this, guys, is that when it comes to this type of issue, there are so many factors going into it that we're just not considering. And if you're going to be just standing there running your mouth about potentially losing your job, how about step up your fucking workload so your boss doesn't think that you're replaceable, you dumbass, that you're expendable. Oh, but my boss is a dick. Yeah, there's jackass bosses out there. I've had issues with a former bosses who would listen to my former supervisor, who would come into work falling off her ass drunk. And they would dodge the people that would actually get the job done. They would make them feel like crap. They're not the ones coming into work drunk. And yes, she had personal issues. But that doesn't fucking excuse it. But that also proves my point. There are so many factors that we're not considering. And this constant screaming at us, saying, oh, we need to protect the children. Oh, they shouldn't be coming in here illegally. All we're doing is fucking screaming, and we're not actually looking at the fucking issues. And Dakota, you can probably say, oh, Dakota, you're doing nothing but screaming. I'm screaming to get my point across to you ignorant idiots. I don't know what to say anymore. Because some of you don't even try to understand the full story. You look for every excuse to cause hate to someone, to harass them, for no goddamn reason. So maybe you should look at yourself before you decide to judge other people. Yeah. What is it?
Get ready to rise and shine. Get ready to dive in, reach out, to grow. Get ready to launch and to lead. Get ready for your hire. Visit rmu.edu today to see the stats, stories, and rankings. Robert Morris University. Get ready.